Hey, what's up guys? It's Nasar, aka the Real Estate Doru. I'm not a guru, I'm a doer because I actually do this business. Hey, check this out, right? So on social media, I'm seeing a lot of people that are against property management companies. It's like they get their properties trashed from the tenant from hell. Then somebody will say, hey, you gotta get property management. They'll say something like, oh, I would never let anyone manage my properties. I can do it myself. They're not gonna look out for my properties like I look out for myself. I just wanna talk about this mentality. Let's get this intro over and meet me on the other side. All right, me personally, I'm pro property management. I think property management is essential and I enjoy using it. I don't want tenants calling my phone. I don't want no sob stories, etc. Now, if you self-manage, does that mean you're going to get those sob stories and tenants calling your phone? Well, they might call your phone, but doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get sob stories because it all depends on your screening process. You have to have a good system in place. What I've been seeing on social media the last few months is people getting their properties trashed from the tenant from hell or the professional tenant. The professional tenant is someone who knows landlord tenant law better than an actual landlord, and then they'll just take advantage of it. You have what is called, the tenant from hell. Everybody's tenant from hell is going to look different. Regardless of how good your screening process is, you will get it. However, if you have a good screening process up front, your situation will be a lot better than the guy who doesn't have a good screening process, and when the tenant not paying for a few months, they take out the sink and pipes and stuff. No. You don't want that situation. And if you guys been following me for years or following me the last few months of the houses I posted on social media, the reason I'm getting those deals is because somebody tried to self-manage and they got the tenant from hell. So what I do, I come in and buy it at a deep discount, fix up the property, and then I'll put a tenant in there that is going to pay on time and pay great money. Because my property management, they've been in business for years, well over a decade, and they have a system in place whereas it helps them manage the properties. Now, every asset class is different. Now, let's be real. If my stuff is in a low income neighborhood and lower middle class, so I'm not getting people with 700 plus credit scores. That's just not happening. However, what my property management needs to know, or the person who managed that asset class, they need to understand you don't focus on credit. You focus on job stability. Have they had an eviction in the last 5 years? Background checks, landlord refers, etc. That's what you want to focus on. You don't want to focus on credit. And I've had property management companies that do that. Like, they'll focus on credit, and I'm like, dude, this is the low income side of town. Now, some property management companies will let you know, oh, we don't manage on that side of town, etc. And please, when I'm talking about property management companies, there's good, there's great, and there's terrible. Okay, I have a great company. They know how to manage each asset class. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put them on the screen right now. My property management company. If you want to reach out to them, if you're in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. With that being said, man, what I'm seeing on social media is these people are against property management. They're not taking ownership that the reason why they're dealing with that tenant situation that they're dealing with is because their screening process is not good. But they're so focused on paying on the monthly fee, or the property management is not going to take care of it like them, etc. And it's like, yo, this is, for the property management company, it's a business. For me, it's a business. I'm not trying to, make sure everybody's name on the lease is supposed to be there, and etc. I don't do none of that. I hand it off to my property management company, but I remember I had a property in Hood one time, right? This person had 100% Section 8 voucher. 100% Section 8 voucher meaning that Section 8 paid 100% of the rent. Man, I went there one day, I had to go there for something, to fix something, to pick something up, and it was like 50 people living there. Now, I can open up my mouth and piss them off, or I can look the other way. Every time I had a vacant property in this neighborhood, right, what will happen is it would break in, vandalize, etc. This was a rough side of town. So I decided to look the other way. I'm getting paid rent, whatever. Man, that tenant ended up turning out to be one of my best tenants ever. Always paid on time. Then they lost their Section 8 voucher, right? I was scared, like, oh my God, I'm not gonna pay. They were paying 2 months at a time. Then put themselves in a situation where they went out and bought their own house. And this person came through the housing project system, but the housing project that they were living in, it got torn down, so they had to, move out and whatever. Like, I didn't, best tenant. It ended up being a great deal. However, how did that happen? Did I scream for that person? No. Property management screened for that person. And then when I got rid of that property management, I said, hey, since they're not, since they're on the voucher, I could just manage this one myself. And, then they started paying me 2 months at a time, and I just did that. But I credit the screening process to property management, not to me, because I don't have a system in place. You have to have a system in place. My point of this video is your screening process will determine how good your tenant will be. And I'm pro property management. I'm not against it, and I don't think you should be against it. Because if you're out here doing this business, you guys know I'm doing some rehabbing, some wholesaling, I've done some building, I'm going in different directions. So property management is not the best use of my time, so I hand that off. Now, if all you do is, manage your properties, whatever the case may be, you should learn how to properly manage your property, how to properly get in a great screening process in place. You have to understand the different asset classes. Are you at A, which is a good asset class, B or C or D, the middle to low working families, middle class families, low income class. You gotta know how to work with these people and know how to, to do the screening process. And don't think because you get an A class property, you get an A class tenant. No, any landlord will tell you that they don't like to pay rent either. Okay, and let me tell you a story. A guy rented to a tenant because, they had some fancy cars, and rented to a tenant, they had nice cars, A-class property. He thought, he assumed like, well, they got through the screening process, look all right, but, what he came to find out is they wouldn't pay the rent. They wouldn't pay the rent because they had to pay their car note, because they had to look fancy. Flip side, same guy, he rented to a property to two African-American males. It was two of them, guys. They had jobs, something like, it was like Home Depot and another, warehouse type of job, right? He stuck to a screening process, right? On paper, they qualified to rent this place. He said that was the cleanest and best tenants he's ever had. He said these guys were clean, you never got a call from them unless it was necessary, and they always paid rent on time. But my man in the A-class level, he got the luxury car in the driveway, he every month he late. Every month he got a story. Some month, I got you next month, I got to do this good. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have a screening process, and if you get a bad tenant, that's due to your screening process. I've had bad tenants. My tenant from hell is probably going to look a lot different from the guy who screened the tenant themselves. So my point is, just make sure your screening process is in place if you're not going to go for property management. Me personally, I think you should interview multiple property management companies and find out what's the best route for you. Whew, I hope this video was helpful. Guys, if you want to know how to find properties at deep discounts like I do, you can go to freenasbook.com, pick up my free ebook. So I hope that's helpful. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.